Hello, I just wanted to run through the things that you guys need to do for today and just to talk to you a little bit about that. So, first thing, you see that insider announcements, we have all the things that you need to accomplish during the first part of class. So, there's a couple things that we've been working on, and you can read through this on your own, but those are the Canva archives flyers, which you were to do for last week, and then the collective development response, or the collection development response. These two things are things that should be due today. So if you have any further work on those, make sure and take a look at those and add what you need, or post the links that you have to your flyers. So those should be the Canva links. And then, so that's one thing that's coming due today. So I want to check in and make sure that you're paying attention to that. And then the second part is what new content is for today. So for this week, you're supposed to have read What is Preservation, as well as the article on sustainable digital scholarship. I've posted some links to videos inside the preservation section, which I'm going to take you to now. So there's one on photo preservation, which is fairly short. I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes. There's a document preservation one, which is a little bit longer, about 6 minutes, and then one that's about 15 minutes. And I want you to be thinking about this week, what are some of the important tips for preservation that you find inside either the videos or the articles? And do any of these apply to your collections? And how can you identify materials that need preservation or repair within the collections you are already processing? So there's two things to note about this, is that there's a couple different kinds of preservation. One of them is something that you guys are already doing. So you're currently already taking steps to ensure that these materials are going to last longer by putting them in archival quality folders and archival boxes. That helps to preserve them somewhat. Oftentimes, you are also doing things like removing staples if they're rusty, removing paper clips. You should always remove paper clips because they bend the pages, etc. So sometimes you can leave staples in place if the staple is a good solution for keeping a document together. Otherwise, you can fold archival paper over the side. So these are things that you're currently doing. There also may be an occasion in which you come across a copy of a particular newspaper article or newspaper entity or a joke book that is the only copy, but it's in a state of disrepair. And that's something that we should try and deal with on an individual case-by-case basis. Oftentimes, the best possible solution for that material is to remove anything that is going to be causing problems or difficulty. So things like tape or adhesives that are attached to it. And some techniques are talked about for removing that in some of the video, as well as doing things like scanning those particular entities. So even if we don't have the ability to scan everything, we do have the ability to scan some things. So we can take an item if it's in a bad state of repair and we're worried that it's going to continue to fall into disrepair regardless of our interventions. That's one thing we can do, is to scan it and make a digital copy of it so that it is preserved in the state that it's currently at. So these are a couple of things. And you want to think about the materials that your collection is printed on, and think about how big a priority it is to preserve a particular item, right? So something like the newspapers, which are in a material that degrades quickly, are something that need to be a higher priority for digitizing over, say, stuff that's been printed on acid-free paper. So it just depends on sort of what you're dealing with and thinking about materials and how they're going to behave, not just today, but 5, 10, or 20 years in the future. Okay, so you're going to read, you should have read the articles for today, and you're going to be thinking about those in relationship to these questions. And then the assignment, which is back in our module, is underneath the articles, and it says, what materials, if any, can you identify within the collection you're working with that require intervention? And then based on what we've read, you're going to say what the actionable steps and recommendations are for these particular materials. So there's the link to that, and you can submit it directly there. Using a Word document is fine, or a PDF. Then you're also going to do, that should be visible, sorry guys. You're also going to do your collection development response. So this is your responses to the feedback that Kyle gave you regarding the collection development policy. They're due this week. After you've completed these, I'm going to go ahead and proofread them, and then we can send him a link to the completed document once we're done. So make sure that you respond to the feedback inside the Google Doc. I will be checking in on that. And other than that, just go ahead and after it's 5 p.m., work in the archives. And then next week, in arrangement and description during that week, we will be going over what you guys have worked on so far and how far along you are in your collections, and take a check on your progress. All right. So have a good week, and I will talk to you on Monday. Thank you guys. Bye.